Welcome to the Last Week This Week review of Fantastic Four First Steps. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zack Huber.
And with our reviews, we start with a little non-spoiler talk and then jump into some spoilers afterwards. But let's jump into it. What did you think of the first steps?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is the best Fantastic Four movie.
I would say the ones I've seen. Yeah.
I may have not seen the Roger Corman Fantastic Four, but I have seen the 2005, the 2007, and the 2015 reboot, the dark and gritty reboot. And I would say that this is hands down the best one. And I would also like to say that, out of the two big superhero movies, the only two superhero movies that we got this summer, that being Superman, I feel like if anybody saw our review of Superman, I can't exactly tell which one I like more, which will come with time. But I really enjoyed this movie. I, did not think that the marketing or the trailers were as exceptional or selling me as much as the Superman trailers were,
or even Thunderbolts.
But it wasn't. I like Thunderbolts trailers. Trailers a lot more, and but I was still very excited because I love the Fantastic Four, and I really dig the cast, and I really like this idea of the retro futuristic kind of 1960s world, and it was going to be kind of its own self-contained universe and story. So I was looking forward to all those things. Add a live action Galactus, and like I'm pretty set. I'm an easy lay at this point. There's not much more that you need to get me to do, but I still like a lot of the trailers weren't necessarily doing it for me until I started to see the clips that they were putting online, and then I got really excited. But yeah, this movie really surprised me because I was very emotionally wrapped up into all of these characters and what the whole dilemma was throughout this movie. And I thought that all the characters had their moments to shine, and you really got to know them, maybe some more than others, but
for sure,
I felt like they did a great job highlighting their chemistry, their family dynamic. I think that the family theme is one of the best things about this movie. Although it's way too soon to say, saying that the Fantastic Four are the face of Marvel, I wouldn't say that.
No.
But I can totally see them in the way that they're portrayed as kind of being the heroes that people look up to in this universe going forward, depending on how they go. Like, they feel like heroes just on the face of like being extremely smart and adventurous and like want to help the world outside of their superhero abilities, and just like really noble people.
Sure.
And so I thought that everything with the characters, the dilemma and the story that they set up was really intriguing. And it created a world end, like a world apocalyptic scenario that they have to overcome, but also an apocalyptic family scenario that they have to overcome with the final act. And I thought that was great. There was a few things that I could have done without, or maybe could have been done a little bit differently. But I mean, there's a sequence that we'll get into. There's a part of the movie where, without spoilers, they're gearing up and eventually go to space and then have to come back. And it is one of the, I think it's gotta be like 30 minutes of the movie. And it's this 30-minute section of the movie is like some of the best like sci-fi just
I know what section you're talking about, and it's my favorite part of the movie, by the way.
It's the best part of the movie. It's like I was ecstatic. I was so happy. I was so happy. Galactus was terrifying.
Yes.
And it was beautifully well done. The Silver Surfer was fantastic. And the score, one of the best scores that Marvel's had. I mean, they're killing it on the scores lately between this
Michael
and Thunderbolts.
Giacchino, man, he killed it. Absolutely killed it.
So I don't know. I was very happy. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a great tone. I don't think that it had a lot of the Marvel humor as much as some maybe some people or some memes try to make out like certain out of context quotes about this movie. I think that the humor worked for me for the most part. Yeah, I really liked it.
Wow. Yeah. So I wasn't expecting that glowing of a review from you because of like your feelings going into it. And what's so funny is that I think we've like slightly flip-flopped here. So now you're like really into it. And I'm not saying I'm not into it. I think it's like I really enjoyed myself with this movie. I do find more flaws in it, I think, than you. But yeah, I think I had really high expectations going into it, like I did for Superman. And so like they didn't quite exceed my expectations. But I think like I agree with you. I think the chemistry was like so there with all the characters. I loved the dynamic with Reed and Sue. I loved Ben and Johnny. I loved John. Just John. Yeah, I loved Johnny and Silver Surfer. I thought that was a surprising nice like arc there. Yeah, no, and then yeah, like we mentioned the music, the retro future, I think was like I really liked the charm of the world. It felt really unique to the MCU, which was nice. I think I was hoping they'd go more futuristic with it. I think they had a weird balance of like keeping things like some things really old school, like 50s, 60s like, and then leaning really into the future technology and other things.
Yeah, so but it's like the Jetsons, like in a way, like yeah. I get what you're saying, like
right.
I don't think this is a spoiler to say that I don't think that cell phones exist in this world. You know what I mean? Like
right.
But they have also some of the most like advanced technology that you could imagine.
I guess like my thing is like they have flying cars, right? But they're still like watching these old school televisions, and I'm like, what? Like I think there's like a little bit of weirdness in tech there.
Well, yeah, no, I agree, but like I don't know. I think it gives it its charm. Like I don't think that like when we're watching Star Wars, nobody's ever like, why are they why do they have this shitty holographic, or why are they they can't call each other up, like they just have like these like transponder, or they don't even call each other. They have to go somewhere to go talk to them. So I think every fantastic universe or world has its own unique things about it. And it didn't bother me. I found it to be charming. I also think that, as much as I love my flat screen TVs, it is also very like kind of cool and pretty to see the like old box ratio, TVs and screens, and the roundness of things is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But I get it. Right. Like it is an interesting blend of technology
for sure. I think one of my other kind of like broad problems with the movie, if you could say that, is like the pacing I felt was like at certain points was really rushed. Like it was really like the beginning, you were just like speeding through like beat after beat until
it was great. I don't know. Look, I thought that was great.
I think the opening, like the very beginning is really good, but like it's just every beat is just like boom, 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 boom. And there's not like enough time for some scenes to breathe for me. I do think there are points in the movie where it does kind of slow down and like gives us time, like that kind of whole sequence you were talking about. That's our favorite part of the movie. but I wish there was more runtime for this, because like there is a character that I feel just gets completely forgotten about arc wise. And even though there's like, this is probably the fewest amount of characters in a Marvel movie I've seen in quite some time. You know what I mean? Like, I think they could have easily spent more time developing all the characters and the Fantastic Four. But yeah, without spoilers, I won't say more than that. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say non-spoilery. So let's get into it. Yeah. Now referring to the very beginning, I really love that montage of like what they've been up to for the last 4 years. I think it's still a bummer that John Malkovich was cut out of this movie. Like they even mentioned the Red Ghost a couple times. But
right, but like,
you know,
but I feel
it is
like
what it is.
He's
such a minor character, right?
But like, if you watch this movie and you didn't know that John Malkovich's scene was cut out this movie,
well,
you don't.
A lot of people would know because he was in like the first couple of trailers, wasn't he?
He was in one.
He was in one trailer. Okay.
He was in one. But like, I'm saying the vast majority of people don't know about that, and I don't think that even us watching it can really seriously say, oh, it could have really benefited from having a red ghost scene.
Sure, that's fair.
Like it wouldn't do anything for the movie. And like I like, yes, would I have liked to have seen it? Sure, but like what they showed us was,
yeah.
I mean, you got Mr. Fantastic kicking a monkey. Why? Let us just rejoice in the fact that we have that loopable scene of Mr. Fantastic kicking a monkey into the bay.
Right. No, I feel you. Like the montage is great. I'm being a little nitpicky there. I really even like loved how the movie starts, where it like is like Sue and Rita in the bathroom, and and like she reveals the pregnancy. Like it's so great. I think that's like the perfect beat to start this movie on, is basically starting a family, right? Because it drives the entire narrative going forward.
Correct.
Yeah, what else? I think the like the reveal, like, you know, a lot of the stuff they'd shown in trailers, so like the reveal of Silver Surfer coming down, we had seen a good amount of that stuff, but it was very cool. Loved her speech about heralding Galactus into Earth, and saying what you truly mean to your loved ones, or what's been on your mind. I thought that was nice. Gosh, yeah. I mean, I think the movie is very solid for the first like act to first like couple of acts. Minus like, I think there were moments that like just like abruptly cut to the next for me. You know, like one of them for me was the like when Johnny chased after Silver Surfer and she like spoke her native language to him. Like as soon as she flew off, it cut, and like the world was just like, oh my gosh, Galactus, what are we gonna do? You know, like there was like just zero time to breathe. And I know there was like a scene cut from that whole sequence where like Johnny's floating in space, like staring, you know, after Silver Surfer after she flies off. I just think like there was just no breathability at points for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you felt that way at all.
No,
but.
I mean, I didn't feel that. I felt like that I don't know. I thought the pacing in this movie was, I don't know. I never felt like it dragged.
No, I mean, I think it's the opposite. I think it's like you're going so fast.
I was about to say that I didn't think it rushed either. I don't think that it rushes. I mean, I get it. I get what you're saying. For me, the pacing. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of time that we spent in this movie dealing with the world reckoning with this like dread of this like
I think
you said he comes back and like he Reed's already busy like trying to determine like how do we trace her, how do we know where she came from, how do we determine the threat that's coming after us, and then the realization like sets in of like all these planets have been gone, and like she means what she says, and then the people are all panicked, and you go from like them being very reassuring to like, you know, later on being like, you know, and it, I don't know, like I never felt like we rushed through stuff.
I think to me it mainly feels like that in the first act, like especially before like Silver Surfer gets there, like where we're just like we get the montage, we go on stage, and then we go to the family dinner, and the pregnancy's revealed, and then we're baby proofing, and then you know it's just like one you know after the other, and
it just felt, I don't know, it just felt like fun, and like we were like, you know, getting to see them have this family life together, getting ready for the baby, the, you know, the whole world getting excited to like meet the newest member eventually, and
and I'm not upset about like any of the scenes that happened. I think like I was enjoying myself. I just wish there was just like a little more time we got, you know. That's my sentiment.
Well, I guess my like question is like to do what though?
I don't know per se, like specifically. I guess I just want like I don't know. I can't even put my words to it. It's just I want like some more time, you know, with dialogue or with interpersonal like or inner dynamics of the group. I don't know, something along those lines.
Okay.
I couldn't.
I guess like for me, like it kind of like had this funness and this levity of like Herbie going and doing Herbie was delightful.
Yeah, he was,
you know, and like Herbie like baby proofing everything, and these you know, the way that they would like animate and cut the video so that it was like kind of this how it was with the show, and like the beginning of the movie kind of where it's these like I don't know what you'd call them, but it was like very 60s retro, like there'd be the video and then another video on top, and like different paneling and stuff. Like
for sure. There was a lot of charm. There was a lot of charm, no doubt.
I enjoyed it, but yeah, I mean the best part of the movie, without a doubt, is, you know, Johnny. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's that whole scene with Johnny, you know, like, oh, you know, Reed, you've got your 330. It's like, I have a 330 of it, you know, and it's Johnny going to talk to him about like, I want to get back into space. And then you get the payoff later of like, I redid the spacesuits. And like, I felt like we had those moments that you're kind of talking about a little bit.
I just wanted more. Yeah, what I'm kind of saying, but yeah, sure. I'm not saying they didn't exist. Yeah.
But then they're gearing up to go up to space, and I love all the preparations. And it feels like it's not like, you know, like we got to get to space. Next thing you know, we're up in space. It was like we still have to prep fucking the ship, and you know, like there's adjustments that need to be made. So they treat it like you're fucking going to space, and it's time is passing. And I think one of the things that this movie does really well, except maybe closer to the third act, is like the like not description, but the portrayal of time, I guess. Like they really did a good job of like me keeping track of like kind of how long things are taking, or that like time passes.
Because I'm a little confused at certain points, like how long certain things were. I
mean, I'm not saying that I know for a fact how many days or how many weeks or something like that. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it did a good job of illustrating that time is passing, and time means something, as opposed to some movies where it's like, oh, who cares about time? The thing's happening. You know, we got to go do the thing. And I felt like the movie like took a little bit more accountability in a superhero movie of like the passage of time.
I think in regards to time, though, like it's a little confusing why Galactus like took so long after Silver Surfer like introduces herself to the world, right? I mean, it's like, I want to say it's like a month. I mean, maybe that. But yeah, I mean, it has to be. It's longer than a month because it took them a month to like go to Galactus and come back, and then it was a couple weeks to a month to build all those like things around the world, those teleporters, right? So it was a while.
I don't think that it's. I think there's a couple explanations you could put. Like you could put it as like to Galactus. He's not rushing, to get over there. Like maybe he's still digesting the planet that he just fucking burrowed through. Well, he's a fucking billion-year-old like celestial cosmic being, and so he's just like, what is time?
Yeah,
but also like they went through a fucking like warp hole to get to where they needed to get, and that was this passage of 1 month, and Galactus did not do that. So I think, I don't know, to a certain degree, it's like that is how long it took without the warp hole. Now, regarding how Silver Surfer got to the ship,
Silver Surfer travels at the speed of light, basically.
Oh, that's true.
Because she was flying really next fast to the ship in the warp.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. So I don't know. To me, it's like that's just how long the ship took while not going at a warp. Now, what I'm saying about the passage of time not being super illustrated well, depicted well in the third act is like once Galactus has like hit like Saturn or Jupiter or whatever, I was like, why is it still taking so long for the ship to get through the Milky Way?
That's what I like. When they said he was at Jupiter, I was like, oh, he'll be here in like a day. But it took a while. And then it was like, no, he's passing Mars now. And I was like, oh, okay. All right.
No, I mean, I would say like it would still take a long time. Like I wouldn't say a day is
sure.
Like it felt like
I guess for me, it's Galactus, right? It's just like he gave Silver Surfer the power to travel at the speed of light, right? So like, why couldn't his ship do the same? I guess in my I'm nitpicking. I feel
it's nitpicking. But anyways, we get they go into the ship. It feels like it's 1960s space race vibes.
Yeah.
By the way,
the ship is amazing. Yeah,
the ship's amazing. The way that this movie is shot and color graded is fantastic. Really does feel
fantastic.
There you go. And it really does feel like something that would have been made or it's at least invoking really well something that could have been made back in the 60s or 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was great. And them getting into this like kind of interstellar type warp hole. Bending the light. It was fantastic. And then
when they get to the planet and like Galactus's ship comes out of the planet, it's so amazing. It's such an amazing shot and it's so intimidating. You're like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then that whole sequence is like, well, and just so fascinating.
Like he ripped through it, in like X amount of time, and then Reed's even pointing out that like it was like a third larger than Earth, and you're like, oh my God, like it's even bigger than Earth, and it just went through it like that, and
but the inside of the like the ship / planet is like where it gets so interesting.
Well, I mean, even like just before that, where tractor beam, getting
oh my God
with the red light, and it's like
and then it focuses on the baby.
Oh my gosh. It's just like gut wrenching.
Terrifying. Yes.
It's like, oh my God, it knows about a baby. Why is it zeroing on the baby?
Yeah.
And then you're trekking through this entire ship, and it's like, oh my God, this thing's fucking gigantic.
Right.
And it really puts to scale. Like I think it does a great job with putting things in a scale perspective.
For sure.
And Johnny's having his conversation with the surfer, and that was all great. But then you get to meet Galactus, and it's almost like a silhouette
he comes out of the shadows and his
you
eyes
can just barely see his mouth like moving, but you know that he is, and he's and he's just like, Ralph Ineson's voice is fantastic, and he's talking about how like the Franklin is going to inherit his like this curse almost,
right? And that and he's satisfy his successor.
Hunger. Yeah, like I'll finally be able to. Which I really liked the fact that like Galactus wasn't just like, because in the comics he's a bit more like he is. I mean, in a way, the way that they depicted it in the MCU is still about the like he's serving a purpose. He's a part of the cosmos that needs to be there. So it's like this necessary thing in a way to the universe, but
not in this one.
Instead of it being like the one, well, it's still like they said like, you know, like he is this cosmic entity. Like he is, I forget how they phrased it, but like Silver Surfer was just talking about how like he is just a part of the universe. Like it's just a thing that, like if you went to another universe, you would have another Galactus kind of thing.
Yeah, and Reed was like, this is like he's older than the known universe, which is insane.
So the thing that like in the comics, it's like that sort of thing, but he is just that, like he just hungers, and that is his primary goal, is that. But I wouldn't say that it's like necessarily like a burden, but in this it feels like he's like, I'm tired. the child will
satisfy me,
will release me from this hunger. And you're like, oh dang, like he's got his own sort of like stake into like why he wants this child. And
I also thought his line about like that Franklin is hiding his true nature from like his parents. I was like, holy crap, the baby's that sentient that it knows it's being tested and that it needs to hide its powers. Like, I blew my mind. I was like, that's such a cool little like thing to add in. And something that can truly terrify like Reed, like the unknown, you know?
Right. And you know, before we like go any further, I would like to say that, you know, Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby in particular were standout, like stellar performances. I mean, like Reed is like, his intelligence is almost like a burden and it terrifies him. And you see like, it's kind of the Tony Stark thing about like wanting to protect things, but instead of like it fueling like an ego and making, I don't know, like instead of like an ego, it's more of like Reed is like, this is this huge responsibility, and like he puts all this weight on himself. And I just thought that the way that he was portrayed in this movie was like incredible.
I totally agree. He's my favorite of the cast. Like Pedro Pascal, I think surprisingly like just killed it. You can feel like more so than the other iterations that he is like supremely intelligent, that like you can see his thought processes. It's, you know, he's coming up with like world changing ideas. I think it's really refreshing to see. And I think his intellect was used more or focused on more than like his actual powers, which was, I actually thought was nice.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, I always thought that Reed's intellect was the actual superpower. Sure. I could really give a shit about the stretching, like and I think that's.
And
like
I will say though, so go on.
Well, I mean, the stretching stuff was nice, and like I thought it was well done. Like I don't know. I thought it was used well. I never thought like, oh, I wish he would have done more with his stretchy powers, because to me, that's not what's interesting about Reed Richards.
I feel you. It's just there was nothing like ever super creative done with like his stretching. And I just wish there was like at least one moment where like he at least like used it intelligently or something. I don't know. Like I think the world's smartest man could use like stretching powers to your advantage, at least in my opinion. I mean, he did in the final act for sure. But I don't know, not to a flashy level or anything.
Yeah. Which, I get it. Like, people wanted a little bit more.
And I think, like, the action in this movie was good for sure. But, like, I was expecting, I don't know why, my mind, like, just was, like, expecting so much from the third act, where I feel like it went by really fast for me. Like the Galactus fight in general, I think it was creative, and I liked that the family, like, or the, Fantastic Four worked together to a point. It wasn't a fight like I was expecting, in a sense. It was just like, let's push him somewhere else.
I would like. So I've been seeing that a lot of like numerous people have been saying, like, they're disappointed by this third act. And
I'm a little bit.
I think I don't know. For me, I kind of think that the idea of fighting Galactus and wanting, like, a little bit more out of a fight, it doesn't work for me. Like, it kind of would degrade Galactus in a way. Like, the way that they went about this, like, they all got their licks in with him, but, like, it was abundantly clear that none of them can do anything to him. I mean, the most that Sue could do was start pushing him back. Mm-hmm. And that
Johnny
costed her. I mean, we're like, we're getting, like, I wanted to talk a little bit more about, and we'll touch back, but like,
we'll go back. Yeah.
With this third act, like, that cost her life just to push him, Sure. And so, like, I thought the idea is very silly to me personally, about, like, getting some, like having a fight with Galactus, because, like, Galactus is clearly, like, so much stronger and would just wipe them out. And he's like, I'm going for the kid, and he nearly accomplishes his goal.
I feel you. I think like Thunderbolts does it even, like, more to a sense, where they, like, completely subvert your expectations, and it's more about gosh, what would you say Thunderbolts, the theme at the end? It's like,
you're not alone.
Right, exactly. And there's a lot of heart in that theme, and I guess I'm struggling to see like I'm struggling to see the emotional arc or the emotional change, like, anyone truly made in the movie, and like an emotional moment in that. Like, I get Sue dies, and I get, like, the baby changes the group, but, like, Johnny, and I really liked, like, the arc Johnny went through with Silver Surfer, where he's finding out the language, he's kind of falling in love with her, and he gets through to her at the end, and she, like, kind of, saves the day by pushing Galactus in. I think it's good, but, like, there's not, like, I think, after Johnny revealed, like, all that stuff, it just goes away, like, entirely. And then she comes in at the very end, right? So I think, like, I wouldn't have minded a little more with those two.
I agree.
I think Ben got nothing in this movie, unfortunately. He had a little bit of, like, I'm gonna fall in love with this woman that never turned into anything. Right? Well, I mean, like, what was Ben's arc? I mean, he had nothing.
I wouldn't say it was nothing, but, like, he didn't have as much as
the other three.
I would have hoped, for sure.
Yeah,
but
and then,
like, I still liked. I wanted a little bit more into Ben. I agree, but with the end, it was like this Hail Mary attempt, because to say nothing of the original plan, which was the months of buildup of this plan to move the Earth, immediately wiped out. Mm-hmm. And then you have to come to the emotional conclusion between a husband and a wife and a father and a mother and a whole family together, to use a baby as bait. So I don't know. For me, the emotional stakes were high.
They were high, sure. But to me, it's just like,
they're all fighting as a like, they almost had him, and then it was like, oh no, we're failing, and they're all fighting and trying to stop him, which is, like, not working. And then it gets to the point where Sue is just like going full like mom and just like, you're not taking my kid.
Right.
And it cost her life. And I don't know. It really worked for me. And I don't think that I would have enjoyed like having Mr. Fantastic like wrap his body around the legs of Galactus. Like I just don't know what that would look like. And I think it's so much more effective and scary that like they can't do anything because this thing's a fucking space god, you know?
And I don't disagree with you on most of your points there. I guess like I said earlier, like I wanted like, and maybe all movies don't have to have it, but I love like an emotional or like a change in somebody's mentality by the end of the movie. And I'm just not sure I can see it.
The Johnny thing where he's like, tell Uncle Johnny that he loves, like tell Franklin that his Uncle Johnny loves him. And he was about to go and like sacrifice himself. I mean, there's a little bit of that. I mean,
but I never got the vibe that he would never do that in the first place.
Well, in the scene where like Silver Surfer's like chasing after them, like he's like, oh, I don't know if I really want to kill the alien. Like we had a thing going on. And then Sue's like, kill her. She's gonna get your nephew.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, I get it. I get where but to me, we already reached our emotional changes, like where Reed is like already like, doesn't want to admit that like I've already thought about sacrificing the baby, and then Sue has to come to the conclusion that like she has to do that. And I don't know, like it's interesting, like they are different in the way that like the baby changes them in a way, but like at the same time, like this movie didn't even really feel like I needed to have them go through a whole emotional arc, because what was really important was like this group of extraordinary people coming together to like accomplish this task, but then also like trying to save their child. And then it's just all of them having their dialogue and their interactions that like worked and made it emotional. And I'm sure if I watch it again, like I might be able to like, maybe there's some changes that I did. I mean, one change that happened is like, Reed was like, I'm going to stop running these tests and I'm just going to let you tell me who you are in your own time. And like, maybe that's not like the same amount of character change that like you want out of like, or like Superman being like, it's what I do. And like my parents on Earth who define me, or what I do that defines myself, not this message from my birth parents. Like maybe it's not that, but but it is a change. And I don't know.
Yeah,
I know.
I get your point. Yeah.
I get that it didn't work for you. And I respect that for sure. For me, I really liked it. I thought it was good.
No, I mean, like I feel like I do want to watch it again just to see how I feel about it on a second viewing. Cause I mean, like sometimes it gets better on a second viewing. And then I can like really see like certain things.
Right. Like I really want to watch this again. I really want to watch Superman again. I'm even thinking about like watching it this weekend
back.
I want to see him again, because like it's so much movie, and they were both they were like 2 hours, and I was like, dang, like these are very rewatchable. Like just pop in, go watch it, like
for sure.
So they both have a lot to offer. I know we're probably, I don't know how long we've been running for, but
we're about 40.
But anyways, I thought that they handled these characters the best that I've seen so far. I was very like dubious, and worried about like because I knew like the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans stuff for so long, and those were my Fantastic Four.
Right. But I watched it the night before, by the way, and I can definitively say I think I prefer everyone in the new one, and I prefer the new design at least of Ben more than the old design. I mean, I think the new design is perfect. I really do love that old like the what was it? Is Michael Chiklis? Yeah, like I think his performance is so good in that movie. And I think his voice is a little more like what I imagine for the Thing than Eban, his voice. But I think the other three, like I greatly prefer over the old cast. I think Jessica Alba is probably, to be honest, like my least favorite of that entire movie. She's just like not who Sue should be, I don't know.
But they also didn't know what to do with Sue other than make her like a hot,
a sex figure, right? Yeah.
And sex figure, and like every movie has some sort of naked gag, right, every single time.
For sure. They didn't age the greatest.
No, but like I get that. Like I do like the voice that Michael Chiklis did for a lot, but I really like Ebon Moss-Bachrach with this like Brooklyn. I don't know. I really like it. Sure. I really like it.
I think what was refreshing too about all the characters is that they were all like, what would you say? Like notably, or like gosh, I'm struggling with the word, but they were all like very smart in their own ways, right? Like they all like were worthy of being astronauts.
They're the best.
To me,
they're the best of. They're all astronauts. Right. And so like if Johnny's gonna be an astronaut,
he's got to have some intelligence.
Right. And
I love that story, right, where he like deciphers a whole alien language. I was like, holy shit, you're showing his intelligence. Yeah, I thought it was great. Yeah.
I mean, Joseph Quinn was fantastic, and they were all fantastic. Yeah. One last thing that I would like to say regarding the movie is you have Julia Gardner, who is objectively like a great actress. I mean, everything that she did as Ruth in Ozark, so
best
good.
Role in the show.
She's so good.
Yep.
And even Wolfman, which I wasn't crazy about, she was great. Everything that I see her in, I have liked. And so you have this great performer, and I just felt like what we were saying earlier with Silver Surfer, not just kind of swooping in at the end. Mm-hmm. Like I know a little more screen time. I know we had this flashback and this kind of emotional, realization, and her struggling with things when Johnny starts, showing what the recording says to her. But I just feel like you have instead of her being this I'm here for the child, I wanted especially when we're and that was great. That was all really good. But once we get into her, really starting to be I don't know if I should be doing this anymore. And turning on Galactus to let me see her
emotional weight and journey through that. Right.
Because you have Julia Gardner, who's this, she can show pain and frustration and guilt.
Well, and I think to that point, I think what would have been so strong to show an emotional arc for her was to instead go with the arc of the comics where Galactus actually destroyed her home world, and she didn't know about it. And I thought that's where they were going. I thought they were going to be all these distress signals were from your home world calling out to you to save them.
Oh, true.
And I was like, oh, so they're just calling to say they miss you? Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I think that would have been such a great side story to follow, and then up to the to reveal that she betrays Galactus.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. One last thing. This is the only other thing that kind of bugged me and took me out. I love Mole Man.
Okay,
from the comics, Mole Man. That's a fantastic character. When I think of Fantastic Four, I think of Galactus. I think of Mole Man.
Okay.
And Doctor Doom.
Right.
And
like he was kind of a joke in this.
No, he should be a joke. Like it's Mole. His name's Mole Man. Like it's funny.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I just feel like there was just, I like Paul Walter Hauser.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he didn't like ham it up as much as like maybe some other actors would, but there was still this like weird like welcome to Subterranea and like, you know, with the goofy glasses. And like I do appreciate that they like Sue refers to him as like Henry or
his real name or something. I don't remember what it was.
Like I do appreciate like, you know, there's this like tension and like he does his world and he do serve a purpose in a way to evacuate the city. I do appreciate that, but I did feel like when he was on screen, like things just got like a little more goofy than I would have liked, even though I do appreciate him being in there because like I've always wanted to see him, Old Man.
Yeah. And you got to see him in the montage, so
got to see him in the montage.
Yeah.
I mean, like that is the Underminer. That is the OG Underminer.
You're right. It is. That's definitely the inspiration. But yeah, I think I'm being, you know, overall, I think I was, you know, I think I have criticisms of this movie. I think if I were to watch this back, I'm probably being a little harsh. But I think it's a very fun movie. It's got really good stories for most of the characters in there. It's got a really great villain, really great music, and a pretty fun end credit scene in a sense. Like it's a little underwhelming.
It's underwhelming,
but it gets you know, excited for the next movie.
I did learn that even though that is Robert Downey Jr. on set.
Oh, is it really?
If you don't show the actor's face or hear their voice, you don't have to pay them as much.
There you go. Yeah, didn't want to drive up the cost of this budget anymore.
Now, I do want a screenshot of the mask so I can like kind of get an idea of what the mask is going to look like. But
yeah, it was cool to see the whole kind of outfit from the back. I enjoyed that at least. But yeah, I think that is our review of Fantastic Four. So thank you guys for watching this one and sticking through with us. And our schedule here is that we release podcasts every other week and we release reviews about once a week. So yeah, if you want to stick to watching our stuff, you can subscribe and we will see you next time.
Till next time.